Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new review on the channel today. Today I'm actually going to be talking about a movie that's been out for a while, but I went and saw it again this weekend, and I thought what a great idea it would be since the second one is coming out so shortly. We could just discuss the first one and I give you my opinion on it and see if my opinion has changed over time. And that movie is Avatar. So Avatar was a movie that was released in 2012 by James Cameron. It was a movie that did really well at the time and made a buttload of money. It made the most money out of every single movie in terms of box office revenue. So it was no surprise that we would get a second one, but since the second one's coming out, they decided to re-release the first film, put it in theaters, and I went and watched it. Now, before I say anything, I will have to address my nostalgia with this franchise, as Avatar, as in the first film, I was actually a huge fan of growing up. Like, I still remember when that movie came out, and it was this big thing, it looked amazing, it was incredible. This world, this whole, completely different thing than anyone expected, and it did really well. And it became one of those movies where my family and me watched it, on a loop when it came out. It was ridiculous. But did it deserve that? I mean, back then, yeah, totally. It was a great movie in my opinion, and I still think it is a good movie. Not great. But it's definitely not the best film of all time. But I'm going to explain why, and why I actually think it dips in quality, especially now. But I might as well get the elephant out of the room out of the way. This film still looks visually and stunning. I genuinely could not understand how you could, criticize it from the way it looked at all. I understand that the Na'vi look very strange. Everyone compares that. That's the one big thing I see in terms of the visual effects that look kind of strange. And you know what? I will agree with that to an extent, but I really don't think it's as bad as everyone makes out to be. Because if you're in this alien world, do you really want the actors to look like real people, or do you want to get a little creative with it, make them look a little strange, make them look more alien? In my opinion, I think that was the best bet, and James Cameron delivered. And even then, I don't even think it's that weird, so, I think the world building for this movie is really good. I remember it vividly as a kid, but it still impresses me to this day of how much lore they got into a movie without it feeling, too forced, because it really doesn't feel that forced to me. And then I think that's a highlight of the script and how James Cameron actually put it all together, so I will appreciate that, too. I'll also say, too, I don't mind the lead protagonists. Jake Sully is a fine protagonist, as well as Neytiri. I actually like Neytiri's story way better than our main lead, but that's okay. They're very surface level, but that's okay. I don't mind them, and they actually work off each other really well, so I'll say that much with terms of characters that I actually really enjoy. But with all good things, I need to talk about some of the bad things, because I think there's a lot of glaring issues with this movie that I personally did not pick up. Especially this time of age, since I've been seeing movies so much, I've been able to pick up on little nuances that have been showing up. And wow, this film has a lot of... I don't mean to shit on this movie completely, because I don't want to. I enjoy this movie thoroughly, but the script is a very 2000s script. You can just tell it was made in the 2000s, for better and for worse, honestly. There's a lot of scenes in this movie where they just talk and they have the most bizarre dialogue, where it's either they're saying too much... You don't know. They're just always saying too much. That's what it always felt like. It felt like the script was so bloated. They had so much they wanted to talk about that they had to get it out. Especially with the human characters. The human characters, when they were talking, when they have their little dialogue moments, I'd honestly say it was pretty not good. It was awful, honestly. But that's the thing, though, I kind of expected that going into this movie again, because that's the one part about the original I always remember, too, is that I didn't like the human stuff that much, and it still applies here. I don't like the human stuff as much, unfortunately. It's just so weak. There's just nothing to the human story that makes it compelling or interesting. The only thing they say is that, oh, they want the rock that's underneath the tree. It doesn't seem like there's any urgency. I don't think they say that, Earth is gone. I don't know if they ever explicitly say it. Maybe if they do, I'll say something about it. But it doesn't come off, there's no urgency. It almost just seems like they're just doing it for the sake of doing it. Just for money. And that's one of the worst villain tropes ever, especially for humans. It's just they want money. I wish they would stop doing it. It's a very weak sort of setup for human characters to act in a movie. And it's just tired and it's played out and I don't like it. And I understand this was like 10 years ago. So like obviously you're going to have that opinion now. But still, even in this movie, I knew people were complaining about it back then. So I'm going to say something about it now. I will also say the villain is the most over-the-top 2000s general I have ever seen. Like, every line he says is something to do with, oh, I'm gonna kill something, or oh, I'm really strong, I'm really macho, look at me guys, look at me, look at my fucking haircut.
You wanna see me, Colonel?
This low gravity will make you soft. You get soft. Pandora will shit you out dead with zero warning.
Besides the general character, every single human is basically a complete asshole. Every single one except our main lead and like 4 other people. Sigourney Weaver is a pretty good standout. I will say, I forgot to mention her, I do like Sigourney Weaver. Reaver? What the fuck? Weaver in this role. In the grand scheme of things, every single character in this movie could use improvement. James Cameron is really good at making this whole lore and this planet feel really fresh, really unique. But the thing about this movie that really bugs me is the characters and the villains, like I said. They just don't feel developed, and it almost felt like James Cameron had a really good concept, but he didn't know how to properly execute it in terms of the characters and making them all pretty fleshed out, making them very interesting. Because there's only like 2 characters that I'd say were actually get that fleshed out, and it's Jake and Neytiri. Those 2 characters, like I said, I do enjoy, but they could be a lot, and I mean a lot better, unfortunately. And also the runtime, it's weird, because I knew it was a big thing at the time, this movie being almost 3 hours, like, oh my god, like, that's crazy, even though it's like, it happens all the time now, but you know, whatever. At the time, it was a big thing. But I genuinely think this movie could have been shaved down for so much time. Like, and just saved all of our time. I'm not saying, like, it's a bad thing and it had me bored, because I wasn't bored, but it was slow. Especially in the middle, I thought it had a little bit of a pacing issue, as there was a lot of stuff going on at the beginning of the film, a lot of expedition dump, and then it kind of just throws you into this world, the second act, and you understand what's happening. But there isn't really a whole lot of, like, action. It's more of just world building, which isn't bad. But at the same time, when you're only giving us dialogue, it's kind of like, well, we kind of want to see something else. Even just for a second, we really want to see something else. There's occasional moments like that, but I don't think there's enough of them for a 3-hour-long movie. I will say, though, that the third act, though, definitely pays off. I forgot how good the third act was of this movie, and how exciting it was, and how just... Oh, it's just so good, honestly. I love the war between the humans and the Na'vi. Just such a great sequence of events, and such a great third act, and just action-packed and thrill ride to the max. I will say for this movie, if you're more into a movie that's just going to look pretty, and it's going to have a whole lot of really cool lore, this movie's for you. But if you're looking for something that's more character-driven, interesting, has a really strong script, I wouldn't run to this movie, honestly. Even if it was like a result of its time, I still don't think it's very like strong. I think what really makes this movie good is just the lore and the passion behind every little plant, animal, every little bit of lore, like the floating mountains. Everything about that is absolutely breathtaking. But everything else is just so superficial, almost feels. It feels like they didn't really know what to do besides that, and I hate to see it, because I think it could have been really amazing if they would have stuck the characters out, and it would have justified it being the top grossing movie of all time, because I still have no idea how it got there, to be honest with you. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for watching my review of Avatar. This was a video I wanted to make, considering this movie has a lot of nostalgia with me. I kind of wanted to give it a proper review before Way of the Water came out, because I'm extremely excited for Way of the Water, and I hope it's just 10 times better than the first Avatar ever will be. this isn't even much of a spoiler, but they do have a post-credit scene at the end of this movie, and I will say, the visuals are on another level. They're insane. I hope the script is a little bit better, but my god, the visuals look so much better. But anyways, if you liked what you see here, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. It really helps me out and makes me think that people actually will be making these videos, because I really enjoy making them. But thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.